Peace and respect, my dear friends. Have a good time and welcome to this chat. Today's destination is England, and the heroes are stones that are not huge statues or anything like that, but rather the size of the palm of a hand or smaller. They do not carry strange or ambiguous language, but rather simple faces. But the strangeness of these stones did not stop here, but rather began here, when she discovered strange incidents and terrifying sightings. It was reported, and wherever these stones went, her curse fell with them. Let us enter into the mysterious world of stones and see what their story is about. The cursed Hexham heads. And friends who want to trade. Do not forget the fire prizes for the month of August offered by the Ivist platform. Ivist, the investment platform, and globally licensed trading, which, in addition to the Islamic account, has other trading features such as copy trade, through which, without prior experience, and with just the push of a button, you can follow trading experts and copy the deals made by these people directly to collect profits easily. And of course, in addition to providing a special financial advisor, when you register, we will contact you and teach you how to trade over the phone. Before you enter this world, this platform will offer its customers a prize every week during the current month of August for every deposit you make of $50 or more. Your name will be entered directly into the weekly draw. On a trip, free for 2 people to London, Paris, Italy, or Greece. The announcement of the winners will take place in order on the 8th, 15th, 22nd, and 29th of August. So if you are my friends who want to trade, register your accounts now in the link in the video description, and do not miss this opportunity. Good luck to everyone, and always remember, trade with caution and safety. And let us begin with the town of Hexham, a relatively medium-sized town located in the far north of the United Kingdom, or England. The fame of this town did not stem from its beautiful ancient buildings, or its being the city that won the title of the happiest place to live in England in 2019. And in 2021, the matter is completely different. The fame of the city dates back to the 70s of the last century, specifically to the year 1971. In this year, the Rapson family had moved to their new home in the city. Everything was fine until the day when the family's 2 children, Colin and Leslie, dug in. The garden of the house wanted meat, but something unexpected happened. The 2 children took out 2 stones from their back garden. The stones were not like any of the stones he was accustomed to seeing. The stones were small, approximately 6 centimeters in size, the size of the palm of a hand, if not smaller. Despite their small size, the stones were engraved on her drawings. Not just any drawings, but faces, and faces were the reason the stones gained their name. One of these stones was given the name the boy, meaning the boy. The reason was a face engraved on the small stone, representing the face or skull of a boy. What do you think was the name of the second stone? Yes, my friends, or the girl. Also, the reason was the face of a girl with hair, long drawn or engraved on the stone. The 2 stones were carved in the shape of a skull with a small neck for each of them, which indicates, according to the archaeologists who studied them, that the 2 stones were most likely connected to something larger at one time. The 2 children took out the 2 stones and went to their parents to inform them of what they had found. The parents did not pay attention. The 2 children paid attention to what the 2 children found, and decided to allow them to keep the stones in the house, and from here, the horror began. According to what the family reported to the various media outlets that covered this story, the stones were moving on their own, and bottles of drink and water were being thrown mysteriously across the rooms. The matter did not stop there. One of the children, the family, started screaming hysterically for the family to go to the pole. The news. The child told his family that while he was passing in front of the entrance door to the main house, the door opened automatically. A dragon touched it, and a strange creature appeared outside the door. The child told his family that he saw a creature that was half a sheep and the other half a scary human. It is very strange, of course, that the parents went outside, but there was no sign of any creature. Some may say that the child, because of the strange incidents he witnessed in their house, had prepared him for this matter. But for one of the neighbors to report the same sighting is what made this matter, and he swore, as was reported on Sight and others. The neighbors of the Robson family, called the Dot family, have also reported strange things that happened to them. One of the neighbor's children pulled his hair at night without anyone being with him. And the mother, called Nellie, reported seeing a strange creature leaving the house that same night. This creature was half human and the other half a goat. Is really terrifying, isn't it? So these stones disobeyed and reached the press and the media. Specialists and art experts began arriving to the Robson family's home to examine and study these stones. But none of them could determine the period to which these stones belong. The Robson family decided to get rid of these stones, so they were demolished. They are certain that it is the main cause of the horror they are witnessing, and indeed, Dr. Aneros, who specializes in silk or poodle antiquities, volunteered to study these stones, especially since they resemble antiquities, to her home to study, and of course, the Robson family did not report any strange incident or sightings after the two stones left their home. It is assumed that Dr. N will not report anything strange, as she is a woman of science and does not believe in paranormal phenomena and ghosts. But listen carefully, Dr. N, in an interview she conducted with the LBI channel, the BBC reported several strange sightings and incidents that did not match her scientific thinking. So she told in her interview about that morning in which she woke up to see a half-wolf, half-human creature emerging from her bedroom. The doctor followed the creature down towards the kitchen, but it suddenly disappeared. A few days later, the invitee told her mother that she saw a huge creature resembling a werewolf after she returned from school. The creature jumped over the fence of the house and headed inside before disappearing, of course. In addition to what the doctor reported, she felt a sudden coldness, the presence of someone behind her, the doors opening on their own, and other observations that were identical. It is significant in light of the previous observations, but the most prominent thing that attracted attention in the interview was the topic of the werewolf or the wolf person, as this creature was linked to the famous Hexham wolf, which terrorized the town and killed large numbers of livestock before being run over by a train in 1904 and killed by this wolf. He was so large and ferocious that it made him a werewolf in the eyes of the people of the town at that time. And after he was killed, all that remained of him was his story, which faded away with the passage of time and did not return to memory after the story of the Hexham stones came out into the open. So a direct link was made between the creature and the wolf about which sightings were reported. Between the famous wolf and the stones, these stones became a source of life for the creature, the wolf, which apparently, according to the locals' belief, is none other than the famous Hexham wolf, which came back to life thanks to the cursed stones. The doctor, in turn, became certain that what happened to her was the result of the presence of the two stones in her house, so she got rid of them so that the sighting stopped. Immediately, many associations, research centers, and universities circulated the stones in an attempt to uncover their mystery and the history of their carving, but all attempts failed. And after a while, a man came out claiming that he was the one who made and carved these stones. In 1956, when he lived in the house where the stones were found, so he told the media that he had made them, the stones, for his daughter, with a goal. He added that he made 3 stones, not 2 stones. The third stone was lost, while the 2 famous stones remain. The man, the stones, and the carving of the faces of the man at the heart of the call. But the result was completely different, and radically different from the 2 famous stones. As we said, many studies were conducted on the 2 stones, some of which dated them back to the Celtic era, making the stones cursed. And some traced their history back to much earlier than this, making them evidence of human sacrifice on the altars of the gods, a theory Others reconnected the stones and observations related to them with Norse mythology, or as it is generally known, with Scandinavian mythology, specifically with the monster called Pulver. This monster is half human and half, exactly like the creature that the doctor reported about, if the stones continued to move from one place to another until it reached the University of Southampton to study it. After completing it, and not getting adequate answers, these stones were given to a psychiatrist in 1978. After which the stones and the man disappeared completely, and all sightings that had always been linked to the cursed stones were cut off. To the date of our episode, there is no trace or even evidence on the location of these stones. The Hexham stones or heads remain an ongoing mystery that has raised terror, fear, and controversy, and someone is waiting for it to be solved. Will these stones appear one day again to open the door of questions that has never been closed in the first place? No one knows. So, friends, this is what we had in store about the cursed Hexham stones. I felt strange about this story, so go and search for it on Google, then come back and write your opinion in the comments. Stones that were suddenly discovered, to begin the journey of terrifying events and strange sightings. Stones that no one was able to identify or confirm anything about, so the date of their manufacture, who made them, and the purpose of making or carving them remains secret. It is true to say that with the disappearance of these stones, any hope of uncovering their secrets has evaporated. Perhaps these stones were lost or disappeared unintentionally. Or perhaps a story was hidden to hide what is behind them, especially since the strange sightings, or rather, the supernatural sightings, have come from the words of the people of knowledge themselves, the science that he denied, and still denies, anything related to curses, ghosts, and supernatural phenomena for which he cannot find an explanation. Was the disappearance of these ghosts a basic requirement to keep everything for which there is no explanation within the category of imagination and preparations? But most of the matter is that the stones were lost and disappeared with the disappearance of their last owner. Questions will remain pending, as is the case with everything related to these stones, in the hope that the Hexham stones will appear again to unveil the mystery.